The events that are happening in the Middle East continue to expose the weakness, the disunity, the division, and the hypocrisy amongst Arabs. We have had for now good years, since the 1940s, Palestinians suffering, Palestinians dying, Palestinians being chased away from their land, Palestinians being denied the basics of life by Israel. Israel and the backers, the United States, Britain, France, and others under that group. The Palestinians have run around, have made noise, have shouted, have cried, have died, but still, even the United Nations has not been able to help the Palestinians. But you would expect that since these are brothers and sisters to the rest of the Arabs within the region, perhaps they will do something to save them of the suffering, to help them also live a dignified life, live as people, live as human beings, but not live as animals, not live like dogs. Palestinians have suffered, they have died for all this long, but seems there is no hope. They only live by the mercies of their oppressors. Now, apart from the Palestinians, there is this that has happened now in Syria, where they have chased away President Bashar Assad. And some Syrians, they are smiling, they are jubilating that yes, Assad has gone. But then I remember when they attacked Libya, when NATO attacked Libya, some people were celebrating. They are saying like Libya is now free. Libya is now going to be democratic. Libya is going to see good days. But now how many years have passed? I don't know. Are we having good days in Libya really? You hear what is now very popular in Libya is the slavery, the torture of the people, the immigration, migrants transiting through Libya to Europe, to the Mediterranean. Some have died. And those scenes, I don't think that they are any good. They look any good to anyone. But all in all, for me, what I'm seeing is that here, it is the weakness of the Arabs, it is the weakness of the leadership and the members within the Arab League that is creating all this, that is permitting all this to happen. The members of the Arab League, they make a lot of noise. Individuals, they make noise, but because they are hypocrites, they will only make noise and continue working to appease, working to please their masters. In 2003, when they attacked Saddam, I'm sure also some of the Arabs within the region, they were celebrating. They were like, let Saddam pay for his sins. And the ones that attacked him, they first of all lied that Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. And ultimately it turned out that even Saddam, I think, did not even have a spear. Like a spear. Like a spear. That this is the weapon of mass destruction that Saddam has been hiding here. But then no one came out to raise his or her voice to condemn the activities of those that have gone promising good days also, promising democracy to the Iraqis. Now, this Arab League here, this Arab League has individuals who I think are pursuing their selfish individual interests. A man like Erdogan, who will make noise, shout day and night, shouts and creates the impression that indeed he's a man that is feeling the pain of those that are suffering, that he's a man that is going to take action against those that are causing the suffering, those that are killing the people, those that are destroying people's property, that are denying people the access to the basics. But look at what Erdogan is doing. He has been shouting for now good months, shouting, threatening as to how he's going to harm Israel. But what has he done? Instead of harming Israel, he's standing now against the neighbor, the Syrians, and now I think he's very happy. But for me, what I'm seeing is that while there is this backstabbing, they are traitors to one another amongst the Arabs. The masters, the imperialists, the ones that have been causing the chaos, the ones that have made sure that there is division amongst the Arabs, they have not gone. They have not gone, and by the look of things, one can predict that today Assad has gone. But in the near future, some of these ones who have also been jubilating, who have been silent, and they have been coming, posing for photos, and coming to just read, make some declarations without any actions, I think also one day they will also face the wrath of these bloodsuckers, these imperialists. The weakness of the Arab League also can be compared to the weakness of the African Union. The African Union has been here for some good time, but there isn't anything that they can show. So an average African wonders what their mandate is. Are they just there to hold meetings? Are they just there to go for international conferences? For example, you have the chairman of the African Union, but you do not know what that person like does. And the entire African Union, what is it that they do? What have they done? For some good years, for a few decades that I have lived on this earth, I have grown hearing of conflicts in Eastern DRC, hearing of conflicts. Now we have a conflict in Sudan. We have also in Somalia. We have the terrorists that have been attacking and destroying villages in northeast Nigeria. We have those terrorists that have been there around the Sahel region. We have terrorists in Mozambique. And when you look through some of these conflicts, you realize like these are imported conflicts. These are not like genuine conflicts, like people have reasons for why they have to fight. But they are conflicts that have been created, that have been financed by external influence, that have been financed, that have been created by strangers. The strangers come up with weapons, they come with some money, they come with even some drugs. They give to young men and women, and they say, you start the work. While the conflict is ongoing here, what they are interested in, the mineral wealth, they are siphoning as much as they can. And we wonder, as young people now, we are asking ourselves, for all these years since independence, what have these leaders really done to make sure that Africans are united, Africans speak with one voice, Africans are connected, Africans are doing one thing, Africans are supporting one another in times of conflict, in times of crisis, in times of need. These are all the people who claim, some of them they will claim like they have had They have had classes of political education. They have been trained in ideology. But now you ask yourself, where is this ideology working? We see Africans divided. Africans are not working together. There is a lot of disunity amongst Africans. And we wonder who would benefit if Africans were sincerely, if Africans were united, who would lose? Who would benefit then if Africans were united? All these conflicts which are happening, some of the conflicts that we see, that these are the conflicts that have been imported. These are not genuine conflicts for which people should fight. But then we ask ourselves, these old people, the ones that have been in leadership for all these days, since independence, what has stopped them? Or what is it that they see that is very bad in becoming united as Africans, as the African continent? Because we see other people, they are united and they are doing tangible things. They are taking action as a single unit. They come up with policies as a single unit. Here in Africa, what is stopping us from uniting, working together, moving in unison, so that we can improve our status, we can improve our position? But for some good time, the politicians who have been putting on, they claim to have gone to school. They claim to be knowing everything. They claim to have had like enough training in ideology. They claim to be experts in governance, in leadership. But what have they brought us? What is it that they have to show? That because of this, it is because of our strength, it is because of our minds, it is because of our hard work that Africa is in this position. We never see. We have the East African Community, we have ECOWAS, we have IGAD, we have SADC. We have all these small associations, Manya Central and Eastern or Western Africa, all these people, they exist, but I think they only exist to even share the small resources that are available. Because we never see, like here, this is tangible. This is something that you can see and you can actually you can feel happy about, you can feel proud of, from these small organizations, these small groupings in Africa. ECOWAS, the other time, had threatened to attack Niger because they had ousted, they had toppled Mohamed Bazoum. But then you ask yourself, ECOWAS exists. ECOWAS has been there for years, but they are terrorists in northeastern Nigeria. They are killing people, they are destroying villages, they attack people who are praying, they attack schools. The other time they kidnapped the Chibok girls, and up to now we don't know where the girls are. And the Nigerian government, which was also hatching that plan to attack Niger, they are also there. But now you ask yourself, for all these years, for you, what are you doing? You have terrorists in northeastern Nigeria. Why don't you first attack those ones before you go to Niger? They are terrorists that have been destabilizing the region ever since they killed Gaddafi. But we do not see any actions taken by the African Union, by ECOWAS, by those people who are close by, who are pretending to be defenders, who are pretending to have had like enough training, having ideology, what. I think it is high time the African youth, we take matters in our own hands, because these old people who claim to have had like training, who are experienced, they are not bringing us anything. Leaving the international stage and Africa at large, the same thing happens here in Uganda. We have had like politicians who have been here for some good time. Politicians who have claimed that they are experts, they know it all. But then you ask, this shape in which Uganda is it where we are supposed to be? Because at the point when Uganda got independence, we are told that Uganda had almost had the economy, which was almost the same size as that of South Korea and most of those countries like in Southeast Asia, things like Singapore, Malaysia, what. That is what we are told. That is how Uganda was. But right now, when you compare and you see those other countries, for example, South Korea, the step it has taken, and now us here, and now you ask yourself, what has been the source of the discrepancy in the level of development? As you ask that question, then you see the politicians who are just here. They are playing around, they are moving about, making a lot of noise, promising what, but the actions, they are not there. So politicians, we should stop singing, making noise, and instead let us act. And also African Union, if you are not capable of doing anything, then like African Union should be dismantled, because we are not seeing anything tangible like this is the work of African Union. This is something that the African Union can present. Recently, we have had like we are looking for the chairman, Mr. Raila Odinga, Maasam, they are moving around campaigning. But then, even some people don't know about African Union. But why? It's because you people are not taking concrete measures. You are not doing anything that is sensible. So we have to revise. We have to be revolutionary. And now when the people come up, for example, those military leaders in Niger, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, they are coming up with tangible solutions. They are not impeded by these bureaucracies in these pseudo democracies that are existing. No, they are taking action. They are putting up industries. They are putting up infrastructure. They are fighting against insurgents. They are providing solutions themselves to the problems they are facing, to the challenges they are facing. But you realize, like most times, even these ones who claim to have been democratically elected, they are not taking any concrete measures. Instead, they are waiting to be told. African Union is waiting to be told by Americans, by Europeans, that let us do this and this. Let us mobilize resources and do this and this. Yet, if we worked as a single unit, as a group united, putting aside the differences, tribal, religious, I think we would get somewhere and would take a very big leap and would get somewhere, would get into a position of strength, a position where every person respects us. But because of the disunity, basing on religion, basing on the tribes, the chauvinism, the tribalism, we are still backward and we are still being divided. We are being killed because there are some assassinations, starting with the assassination and the killing of Thomas Sankara, because of what he had even started in his country, Burkina Faso, the revolution of the people. The imperialists had to eliminate him. But if we are together, we are united, how will they penetrate? How will they attack individuals? But while we remain divided, Africans, Arabs, more are to die, more are to cry. La patrie ou la mort, nous vaincrons.